Hello, and welcome to Black Hair in the Big Leagues. I'm your host, Salisha Thomas, and I've already had so many laughs with this beautiful queen who is on today. She has watched me be such a disaster and such a mess, and it's like our first time meeting, and I'm so embarrassed. But you guys, like, she's so beautiful. She's emanating so much light. Like I truly just met her for the first time just a few minutes ago, and she is just a portal of light and love. And looking at her blog and through her blog, it's just light, 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 beauty, femininity, wholeness, joy. I am so excited to talk to she was the understudy for Alana Beck and Zoe in Dear Evan Hansen on tour before taking over full time for Alana Beck. Please help me welcome the CCM grad, Ciara Alyse Harris.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
You're literally the most patient person on the planet. So.
No, this is really making my day. This is making my morning for sure. I love that.
I'm like, we recorded, how long were we going before I was like, Salisha, you haven't even pushed
Yeah.
record, you idiot.
I'm glad it happens to more than just me. So
I feel that way so much, like when I see other performers. It's so easy to be like, oh my gosh, they're just perfect and all these things, but baby, we are flawed. I mean, I can speak for myself.
Oh, for real. Me too, girl. Me too.
Where are you? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm currently in Miami, Florida, which is where I'm from.
Oh.
Because, in March when the world turned upside down, we were on tour in Salt Lake City, and then I came here, and I've been here ever since. So summer all year long.
I mean, Miami doesn't
I
seem
know.
like a bad place.
It's quarantine. I know.
That's cute. Like when you're not in quarantine and not on tour, I know being on tour is a whole thing. And I also toured and I didn't realize until I was like being interviewed on television when the woman was like, "Where do you live, Salisha?" And I realized I was like, I'm actually homeless."
Yeah, that's what I say to people all the time. I'm like, I don't really live anywhere, actually. I don't have my own space, really.
Right. It's so weird. Like, so when the pandemic comes when it goes away, hopefully, dear God, will you go back on tour? If you know of, will you go back to New York City? Will you come home?
Yeah, so everything's up in the air. The only thing I know right now is that I'm moving to New York City next Tuesday or next Wednesday. Yeah. So, yeah, that's one thing I can control. Everything else, no idea when the tour's going back, nothing, but I do know that I'm moving to New York next week.
Okay. How do you feel about this? Because I'm pretty excited for you.
I'm so excited. I'm really excited to have my own space again. It's been really good to spend all this time with family, but especially coming off of the tour. Like, I'm so used to being alone and I haven't really had that. So I'm excited about that. And when I did live in New York, I lived in New York for only a couple months before I got the tour. So I feel like I never really made New York my home. I never really felt like I lived there. So I'm excited to get that chance again to really be like, this is my place,
Absolutely, and I get that. It's like, family, I love you. This is real cute and everything, but I am grown and I
I'm grown.
need independent. Right,
Right.
especially going from tour when you don't I mean, every tour is different, but you don't have to have a roommate. You
No,
can
I
just
never did. Well, sometimes I did, but most of the time I was by myself and I preferred it that way. And we all kind of did because, you work together, then we go out and get drinks together. So it's like, I'm going to live by myself,
and then you travel together.
We travel together. It's everything.
You do everything together. How long were you touring, by the way?
I've been touring. I was touring for almost 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Oh, yeah. So I got it literally I went on tour the summer that I graduated from school. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to do.
I'm sorry. How dare you? I'm sorry. How dare you? The summer after you graduated from CCM?
Yeah. That summer. And I've
You are
done it ever
amazing.
since. And I was like, okay, in the fall, I'm leaving the tour. I've learned so much. It's been great. And then this happened. And I was like, So now everything's a little bit backwards, like everything's really up in the air. But I've been touring for almost 2 years. Yeah.
Okay, I'm so excited for you to get to New York City and live your best life out here. You know the city is waiting for you.
Yes.
So I'm like, dear God, let Broadway come back so that we can just like I'm ready to thrive. Like,
Yes,
can
that's how I feel. Yeah.
can we please like, especially because like low key, like between you and me, I'm like 2021, year of the black woman. Let's go.
Yes,
Like,
let's go. Yes. Yes.
let's freaking go. I want to show
Yes.
up to the freaking Tonys with Afro-tastic realness, African
Yes.
wardrobe realness. Like,
Yes. 100%. That's exactly how I feel. It's our year. It's 2021.
it's our year. Okay, I have a question for you. Like, this is low key, just between you and me. I mean, I'm
Okay.
not editing it, but um, I do want to know. Like, I've never been a swing or an understudy before. I was cast as a swing in the Britney Spears musical, which is hilarious because I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Swing brain. Let me see if I can do
Yep.
that. And I'm like, even in the 11 days of rehearsal, I'm like, I have to work so much harder because it doesn't come naturally. Before rehearsal and after rehearsal, I'd get a practice room and like drill everything.
Yeah.
But I've not been in the field yet, Ciara.
Mhm.
And so I know that you took over the role and everything. But before you did, when you were covering Alana and Zoe, two leads in Dear Evan Hansen, the bombest musical, one of my favorite musicals. How was that backstage, not knowing when you were gonna go on?
Yeah. Well, similarly to you, I had never swung before. I had never been like a real swing. Like at CCM, it's like you get the understudy, but they don't really expect you to go on, so you never really learn anything. And then you're like in
Right.
the ensemble, so you never learn the part anyway. Like that's all the experience I've ever had.
No.
Literally. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. This will be fun. And I feel like what I took for granted as a performer is muscle memory. Like, you write
Ooh.
your notes down, right? But a lot of it is when he gave me that note, it was when I walked over to the couch. I'll remember that. I don't need to write that down because I felt that when he told me, so I remembered how to do that. Like a lot of it is I've been doing it up on my feet. I learned it on my feet. So it's already in my body, so it's not that hard to remember. The hardest thing for me in Durban Hansen was like, it's not even a dance show. It was just kind of like watching someone do stuff and then like writing lines about where she's supposed to walk and like where she's supposed to be, and then remembering that, having not had it in my own body, and also like be like taking notes that were for someone else that I was applying onto myself. So it was,
Right.
like, all of that was really kind of like gymnastics for me. And like Dear Evan Hansen is a heavy walk show. So like numbers like Waving Through a Window and You'll Be Found are so teched. They're so choreographed that they're just walking patterns. And those were like, it sounds like the simplest thing in the world, but those were the hardest things for me to remember when I learned it by watching someone else do it. And then I just like wrote it in a line in my text, and I
Oh
was like,
gosh.
yeah, and then I'll get there, and then on rehearsal I'll be like, she walked over here, right? Is that what she did? Like it really was harder than I imagined it to be because I didn't get to feel it in my body first. And also there's like, I feel like when you're in the role, you kind of already have that confidence of like, yeah, it's my role, and I feel
It's
like
mine.
it's mine, and I feel like I can make it what it needs to be, and I feel like I can find freedom in the form, and I feel I can mess up, and I can find things and whatever. And as an understudy, you're just kind of expected to like, you caught her mess ups, don't make the same ones. You have to be this perfect finished product, even though you haven't had
Right.
any of the time to get it into your body.
And I imagine when rehearsing, you're not rehearsing with the whole cast, or maybe?
No,
No.
no. So
No.
like the main cast like never sees you until you go on with them for the first time. So your family becomes the understudies because I know
Right.
what her Cynthia is. I know what his Evan is. It's like, this is my family. And then the first time I make my debut is also the first time I'm going on with these people. So there's a lot of like, and then for them, of course, they're like, I don't know how she's gonna be because I've never even heard her sing. You know what I mean? Like, so they're nervous about me. I'm nervous about me. The crew's nervous about me because everyone's just like, does she know what she's doing? Because I've never seen her before. You know what I mean? Like, it's we do literally like magician's work. Like, we are
Right.
expected to be full product when we get there, and everyone's just kind of like, okay, does she know to walk over there? Okay, she does know how
Right.
to do that. Okay, you know what I mean?
Right. Oh, Ciara, that's like a real thing. Everyone's super present when the
Yeah.
swings are on.
Oh yeah, when the swings are on, everyone's like in the wings. Like,
Oh,
does she know to walk to two? Does she know
Right.
before?
Girl, I have been in so many situations, but not on this side of it. Like,
Yeah.
I've been on stage and, we had a new swing come on and she
Yeah.
picked the wrong spot.
Right.
And I'm
It
like,
happens.
"You
Yeah. Yeah.
can't be in this spot because 'cause I'm in
Right.
this spot." It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh gosh." And now I'm gonna be the swing. I'm like,
You're gonna be this.
"Oh, oh Lord, help us, Jesus."
Yeah. Yeah.
And hilarious that you were talking about being in school and being like, "We're not actually gonna go on."
Yeah.
I was 'cause I studied musical theater as well, out in California at Cal State Fullerton, and I was the swing when I was, like, junior BFA before switching to BA. Because anyway, a whole other story.
Mhm.
I was a junior, I knew the seniors weren't gonna call out, but the girl who I was understudying was doing fouettes. I'm like, "Y'all know I don't do fouettes.
Yeah.
I can barely even say the word fouettes." And guess what? She called out. I'm like,
Oh my god. So what did you do? Did you do fouettes?
I called out.
Oh, you called out.
She called out, so I called out. I'm like, I can't do this.
Oh my
I
god.
Ciara, I'm like, "Oh my goodness, what am I doing?" So then the second understudy had to go on because I'm like, "Y'all ain't gonna make me look stupid."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is it hot in here? I'm over here telling on myself.
That is crazy.
Uh,
Oh my
yeah. I wouldn't do that in real life, but also in real life, if they're like, "Hey, you look really hella dumb trying to do fouettes. We're gonna
Right.
put something else on your body,
Right, right, right,
or
right,
you're
right.
or you're not gonna be in the role." Something like that. It's not gonna just be like, "All right, Godspeed."
Exactly. You were understudying something that wasn't your, like, forte, that's why. So that probably will never happen to you again, hopefully.
Dear
Yeah,
God, knock on wood.
yeah.
Okay, another question about that. So when you're understudying, what did you do with your hair backstage?
Okay, so this is interesting. So when I got the job, I had just done the big chop. So I had been like, my hair was straight, my hair was like, collarbone length. And then for my senior showcase, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna go natural and I wanna start from the very beginning, which was like kind of a big deal because I was like, like your showcase is like
Yeah,
packaging yourself. Yeah.
that's a huge deal.
Yeah, and I just was at this place in my life where I was like finally figuring out who I was and living for myself and like I think for me it's going to start here. And that was like a whole experience of like, always wanting my hair to be long and thinking that longer was better and then just being like fuck it or straighter is better and then just deciding that I wasn't going to have hair. And that was like crazy for me and crazy for everybody in my life. Like even like my grandma was like what the hell is wrong with you? Like everybody in my life, right? So I
Wow.
did that and I was like, wow, like this is me. I feel like it was just a really cathartic, beautiful experience. And then I got Dear Evan Hansen. So I had no hair when I got Dear Evan Hansen. And so they didn't really know, they didn't really know what to do with my hair. And B, they weren't paying attention to me because I was like understudy number 2, sort of. So the other understudy, like, she had been working at the Broadway before she came on tour with us. So she was kind of hired as that, like, she knows the show the best. And Ciara will learn the show as the tour continues. So while they were figuring out what to do with her hair, nobody was paying attention to what I was doing with my hair. And, natural hair is different on everybody, like in terms of
Yes.
product. It's a lot of trial and error. And so I was like finding out how to get my best curls, like what my thing was. And like every day I came into work looking good as hell. Like my curls were juicy. Like I looked incredible at work. And I could feel that they were kind of like, we'll get to you when we get to you. You know what I mean? Like I could feel that there was a fear behind like, I don't really know what to do with that because, when we think of Zoe, we think of long hair. And when we think of Alana, we think of this like updo on top of her head. Like those were like the 2 things that they were doing with the girls before us. And the
Okay.
other understudy, she had like a beautiful long wig that she just wore one day to rehearsal because she wore wigs all the time. And our director was like, I want her hair to look like that. Like, how can we get her a wig? Like, he was just thinking, like, I see this character for Zoe. Like, it was like, I see this character as like long hair, which essentially is like, white. And they wanted to see that. And I think with me, with my hair being so short, they were just kind of like, I don't even really know what we want to do with that. if it's necessary, we'll like get there when we get there. And so I'm, learning the show. No one's really paying attention to me. My costumes are barely put together. Like nobody even thinks I'm going to go on. And then eventually my turn comes when it's time for me to go on. And I didn't even get like hair products. So like they were giving the people who had curly hair, like coily custard, which I don't really know anything about that, but I didn't use that. But they had never like come to me and been like, hey, what do you use? Like no one had ever asked me what I used. I just feel like from moment one, it was like, I don't really know what to do. So we'll get to you when we get to you. And then when I went on, I was doing my own hair. They like pulled my costumes and I was like, oh God, okay, here are her jeans and blah, blah. And then I went on and then it was like, great. And I was going on all the time and I was in charge of my own hair. I did the same thing every day, whatever. Then my hair started to grow like wildfire. And still because like, on tour, you can get away with a couple things because the director is not out there, so you can do whatever you want. So my hair is growing and I started doing a twist out. And so I was like, okay, I started doing like this side, oh my God.
Part?
Side part. Started doing a side part for both of them. And my hair basically looked the same for both of them when I was doing a twist out. And then this is like 6 months into year one, the hair guy comes out and he's like, wow, your hair has grown. Okay, now we need to figure out what to do with it. And he was like, okay, like give me this side part, give me this. And so it ended up being that I had a side part for Zoe. And then I had like an updo for Alana, which is essentially like what they've always wanted, but I couldn't do that in the beginning because my hair wasn't long enough. And so I started doing that, but I still was doing it myself. I was supplying my own hair product. I never asked for the coily custard because I kind of was like, I don't know if I want that. And now like having heard so many other stories over quarantine, now I'm kind of like, oh, I know I'm going to go in and be like, you need to supply me my hair product. You know what I mean? And like, here's what I like. And this is what you should, because I'm spending money every week to do my hair for this show because no one can do my hair,
And so it sounds like you were never wigged.
I was never wigged.
And so because you were never wigged, does that mean like every day that you go to work, you have to be prepared to like have your curls popping or
I would do my whole life especially because I was doing this twist out, which I love a good twist out, but now the problem with the twist out is that I was pulling my actual curls out. So then my curls are like looser than they used to be.
Yeah.
And so now I'm going to go back and not do that. But at the time I was like, oh, this gives me like the length that I need. So I was doing the twist out for the length, and which meant that, I had to twist my hair every single night. I wore my headband or my hairband all day long, my scarf, and then until I got to the theater. So I would like do my hair the night before, like after we went out for drinks, I'd be like up late at night twisting my hair, and then I'd have it in all day long so that the floor would dry, and then I'd get there and do my hair. So like everything, every day it was like, oh, I have to go do my hair, I have to go home and do this or whatever.
Revolving around.
And then funding it myself, like me paying the money to use those products myself. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. I feel like this is like full circle. You've like learned so much. You're like, okay, here's what we're not going to do. Like grateful to be here. And I will say, I mean, like, and you can speak to this or not to this or whatever, but I would think it would be a little encouraging, even though they didn't seem like they really knew what to do when you got there. I would feel personally encouraged if I had just chopped off all my hair for my senior showcase. I am puking because I'm so terrified. Like that is a terrifying thought. And then to get a job, a big job, with how you actually look.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's pretty incredible. Even though they were like, now what do we do?
Yeah.
But like, but they still like, did you feel validated at all? Like I can be exactly who I am? Like, is that or no?
Not really. I mean, I felt like, with being an understudy, there's already the double standard. And then there's the double standard of like being a Black understudy for a predominantly white played role. I feel like I had a lot of figuring out to do in terms of like imposter syndrome and telling myself, you got the job, you belong here, you're okay. Because another thing with being an understudy is what I took for granted is that you don't get the affirmation. Like when you're in the role, everything you do, it's like, oh yeah, that was great, try it again. Or, you know what, I think you could do better. Like even if it's bad, it's constructive. And when you're an understudy, it's nothing. And if it's something good, it's few and far in between. And so you don't really feel as coddled or as taken care of as you usually are when you're the lead. or even a lead, just like if you have a part, if you have a
If
part
you're
that's
on.
yours, you know,
Yeah.
you won't have the confidence of like, okay, I don't really like have to really compare myself too much to people because it's like my part, you know? And so it's like, so I definitely took for granted that like I'm used to having a closer relationship with my director and my director being like, hey, that was great. Can you try this?
Yeah.
I missed that. And then it was like me coming into my own with my hair and then just kind of like finding my place. I had a hard time getting back to me. It was weird because it's like I graduated with all this confidence, right? I went to this really great school. I got an agent right away and I got this job and I felt really good about myself. And then the first couple months I spent like trying to grow my confidence because it was like I started out in the background. I started out like never really being talked to, never really being used. And so I had a lot of figuring out that I think was a lot based off of me and like my own insecurities and how I was feeling working this really big job and then like not being told that I belonged there. You know, oh my god, I'm getting kind of emotional. Weird. And so it
Feel
like
it, girl.
took me some time to be like, yeah, like I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And that came with like the first time I went on. You know, it's like one of the most rewarding things about being an understudy is like, yeah, no one knows what you're capable of. And you get to wow everybody the first time you go on. And people are like, what the hell? You sing like that? Yeah, I work here, don't I? You know what I mean? Or like, you know, I did
Right.
go to this school. Hello. You know what I mean? Like people forget about you kind of, and you forget about yourself. You forget about what you're capable of and where you came from and the roles that you've played because you haven't had the ability to show people what you can do. And so then you get to go on and you're like, fuck yeah, I do theater. I'm an actor. That's right. Like this is where I belong. And then once I got to do that more and more and more and I won over everyone's respect, or in other words, everyone finally started paying attention to me, it was like, yeah, that's right. I belong here. And it was like those things and myself where I was like finding my confidence again. But that didn't really start happening until like 6 months in to like I went on.
Wow.
So it was a
That
lot, yeah.
that is so powerful. And you were talking about confidence and all of these things. And I mean, every black girl, I feel like, has auditioned for Dear Evan Hansen. And I remember going in there being like, they want me to sing for Zoe and
Yeah,
being like, and feeling like but she's white.
yeah.
But like, this is like, and so and so you were able to at least get past that. And so, but I want to know, like, the first time that you went on for that role, were you nervous or scared at all, knowing that the audience was going to be expecting a certain type and that you were not going to be that? You're going to
Yeah,
be your own version of
yeah.
that.
I think
How was
about
that?
it every time, especially sometimes it depends on like the cities that we're in too. But I felt the same way as you. I had originally gotten asked to come in for Alana. And then I didn't hear from them. Then it was like, come in for the understudy for both. And I felt the same. I was like, you're not going to let me play that white girl. Like, what are you
Right,
doing? Like, what am I
right.
here for? This is not going to happen. And then it just kept happening. And then I got the part and I just was like, what? And
What?
then, so when I made my Zoe debut, of course, like the first thing in my mind was like, are they going to accept me? Like, are they going to be okay with me? Like, I had found out that I was going on, we went on in Chicago, and I found out I was going on like an hour and a half before call time, which is very late. And it was my first time. And I was like, yeah, everything's fine. Everything's fine. They're like, everybody's like, what do you need? What do you need? Do you need to run through waving? Do you need to do this? Do you know what you're wearing? Blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I got it. I got the show. Because at this point, this was 6 months in when I had gone on for Zoe for the first time.
Dang.
6 months. And so at this point, I like know the fucking show. But then I'm like, do I know the fucking show? You know what? Do I know
Right,
the show when I'm nervous? Do I know the show when there's an audience in front of me? You know what I mean? Like I've had enough time to be like, I've done this so many times, but I haven't done this in front of people, really. Just in front of
right,
my family of understudies and, you know, stage managers
right.
that I trust, who knows me. And so of course, my first thought is like, you know, is the onstage cast going to be okay with me? Are they going to receive me? Are they going to change anything for me? Are they going to be open to me? Like I'm always thinking about them because I want to be able to create a family with them, and I don't have that time with them. I don't get all of that, so I'm like, okay, are they going to be okay with me? And the second
Right,
thing is like, okay, like do I know everything when the lights go off? Because you don't always get to practice with the lights because of money. So there's a lot
right.
of tech things that you pretend that you're rehearsing, but you'll never really feel them until you're on stage. And like my first time as Alana, I almost ran into one of the moving panels because I like forget that that's a moving panel when I'm rehearsing because it doesn't move during
It
rehearsal.
doesn't move
I am a yeah. So then
in
I'm
the rehearsal.
And then the third thing I think about is like, are they going to be okay with me? Like the first time Zoe comes on stage is at the breakfast scene, and it's her and the family having breakfast. And it's obvious that she's the daughter. And it always, like, it's a really exciting thing because it's like, oh, Ciara's on. You know, like part of it is like, I like get to arrive on the stage and it's so sweet. But the other part of it is like, oh my God, like, do I hear anything from the audience where people are like, wait, what? Like,
She's the daughter. She's black. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I'm just like, oh my God. So I'm like drinking, I'm like eating my cereal, but I'm like, are they saying anything about me? Like, what's going on? Are they like, is this weird for them? You know, so of course I'm thinking about what the audience is going to be thinking about me, but I've gotten so lucky that I've never had anybody say anything negative to me. And I've had a lot of people, even
good.
white people, who are like, you were my Zoe. I was so glad I got to see you. Like, and it's beautiful. And I have so much fan art. I have a crochet doll. A girl made a crochet doll out of me as Zoe and as
Wow.
like that's something that's probably the most beautiful thing about it. Like the people who recognize me as somebody who's playing the role. And they're just like, oh, when you played the role, I saw a side of it that I'd never seen before, or I'm so lucky that I got to see you. And they don't say anything about, you know, when I saw that you were black, I was a little nervous. Like nobody says that. And these are kids, these are middle schoolers. And they're just
Right.
like, yeah, you were great. And I'm so glad I got to see you. And that means everything to me because this is a show about mental health, and mental health doesn't discriminate. Just because I'm not white doesn't mean I don't have the same problems that she does. Doesn't mean that I can't connect
Right.
in the same way. And it's like such a
Preach.
beautiful, universal show. And that's why I think it's really important to have a black Zoe because it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the dynamic at all. It can be the actor who's playing her. It can be whatever you want it to be. But at the end of the day, like you are human and you are a human person who's feeling these things. And that's what it is. And that's why like being able to play that role as many times as I have has been so fantastic and amazing. Like I'm so proud to say that I've been on a lot of times, you know, because that's
Awesome.
also something I didn't expect when I got the part either, you know, to like really be put on.
I mean, representation matters, and, like,
Yeah.
the more times we see, like, people of color, black people in prominent roles, I think it's just, like, it really is fantastic. I remember, like, when I saw Hamilton, the
Yeah,
understudy was on, and I was like, "She looks like me." I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of color in there, but,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
when
yeah,
you see you on stage, it's like, "Oh, oh,
yeah.
oh, maybe I could do that too." Like,
Mhm,
it
mhm.
really does it's a really special thing, and I'm so excited that you've gone on so many times.
Yeah.
Can we can I ask you about your blog? Okay.
Yes.
So, I love it, by the way.
Thank you.
I truly like, I have my own blog, and when I was looking through your blog last night, I felt so inspired. I'm like, "Oh, it's just so, like, beautiful and just reminds me, like, I love being a girl." I've always been like that, but, like, seeing your blog, I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I'm like, "I'm a girl, and, like, this is so fun," and, like, all of the things. But, like, real talk for, like, 1 second,
Mhm,
remember after George Floyd?
mhm, mhm, mhm.
I posted something on mine called, like, "Being Black on the Great White Way." You posted something called, "Being Black in Theater, Proving
Mhm.
Your Value While Simultaneously Fighting Imposter Syndrome," and it was very powerful. If y'all are listening and you haven't read it, like, please go check out her blog, and I'll say the handle at the end of this episode. Um, were you nervous at all? Were you afraid to, like, write anything?
Oh, yeah. Of course I was. Of course I was. I feel like every time I write something that's a little bit vulnerable, I'm like, that's why you need to write it. Like, you know, it's like, if this makes me uncomfortable, that probably means I should write it. You know, I always feel that way. I always feel like it's like an overextension of myself could potentially help someone else. And it was funny how, like, that response did so well. I didn't expect it to be so well received as it was because I've been blogging for probably like a year now. Yeah, I've been blogging for like a year now. And I've posted some things that are personal, some things that are just tips. And that was something that I felt like was like on everybody's mind that I was like, do I want to tap this bubble? Like, or do I not? And
Yes.
I was like, fuck it, I'm going to. And it was like so well received because I feel like we are living in a time where like, I feel that as a black person in theater, I feel supported to say what I need to say. I really do. I feel like I can say what I need to say, and I feel confident that like I'm tired of being quiet. Like I'm tired of being quiet. Ah! like like I'm tired of making other people feel comfortable like at my expense. Like I feel like I'm always like making myself palpable for people, like
Yeah.
making sure other people feel comfortable with me and not feeling like I can say how I really feel because like I don't, I'm the Black person in the room and like I'm
Yeah.
trying to not stand out more than I already do. And so
Right.
when I did that, I was like, the response made me feel like I can say what I need to say because there's plenty. We all feel this way. We've all,
Yes.
especially being in theater, like we've all just been like, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I'm so lucky to have this job and like, whatever. I'm not gonna talk. But no, like we heard in other ways, like especially playing Zoe, like it's so important to me to be received well and to be received as myself, right? And so it's like I feel like I need to stand up for myself. I feel like I need to say like this is how I feel playing that role. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
I think I now feel like I can talk and I
Right.
can be really I can be honest in a way that I felt like before unfortunately George Floyd I couldn't be, you
Right.
know.
I agree, and I kind of feel like that changed the game in a big way, and I was encouraged, like, reading yours, I'm like because I remember feeling similarly like, "All right, I have something to say. We all have something to say." But it's like before, we were all at work just trying to keep our jobs, and right now it's
Yeah.
like there's truly nothing to lose. So, this is our
Yeah.
truth. So, I just wanted to know if
Yeah.
you were as nervous as I was because it's
Yeah.
scary, like, telling the truth, but you did
It
it, and it's
is.
inspiring. It's inspiring.
Mhm. Thank
Oh, you said
you.
something in there, let's see here. Um, oh, I loved this quote. "When you hire Black actors, you are hiring our hair, our skin color, our body, everything." I mean,
Mhm.
it sounds pretty simple, right? Like,
Yeah.
like, but being in the room, being in the space, it's like they're like, "Well, what do we do with all of this? All these curves,
Right,
all this
exactly.
texture, all this melanin." It's but you hired me.
Well, you
You
hired me because that's the thing. It's like, and that's what I mean by like diversity points. It's like they hire you because they're like, we know we need some people of color in here. Let's bring them in. But then it's like they don't hire people of color who know how to talk to us, who know how to do our hair, or like just so that we don't feel like the only person of color in the room. Like that, it like the bare minimum to them is like, as long as they're in here, we're doing the right thing. But then there's like an aversion to us because of fear and not wanting to be uncomfortable and like them not
Yeah,
wanting to get to know us. Like it's so easy. I feel like now they're like, yeah, I should have done this. But I was thinking about this today. Like no one ever asked me, what do I put in my hair? No one ever asked me that. And that sounds like the simplest thing in the world. For them to be like, hey, so you've got these gorgeous curls. What do you use? Oh, I use this. Okay, we'll write that down. That's all you had to do. That's all you
yeah,
had to do. And I could do it myself. I don't need you touching it, but you can fund it. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
yeah.
they just never bothered to ask because it's a fear of like not wanting to like delve into what they don't know. And it's like
Right.
they don't want to venture out into that. But if you hire Black people, you got to venture out into that. Period.
Yeah. I feel like there's gotta be a way because 'cause I've had a casting director who I was like, "You can be honest with me, and this is gonna be off the record, so I will not say her name." But I was like she's mentioned something about my hair and like, "Stop the scene, it's not working, I think it's your hair." I was in a class setting, and I said, "I want you to tell me everything that you're thinking because when I'm out actually auditioning, no one's gonna tell me."
Mm,
And so I asked her point blank, and she said, "I mean, honestly, if it's between you and another girl, and she doesn't have a wig on, I would probably end up going with her just so that I don't have to ask the uncomfortable questions." And so
mhm.
it's like that's a real thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, so where there is there a fine line of where like because I want them to like you said, it's a simple thing to ask.
Mhm.
It makes me feel seen.
Yeah,
If you ask
yeah,
right?
mhm.
But to do it in a way that it doesn't feel offensive, I don't
Right,
know,
right,
Sarah.
well, that's what they think. They think that it's offensive. That's why I keep saying it comes from fear. I truly
Yeah,
believe it's not like they don't care necessarily. I think it's just this wave of, like, I don't know what to do. Like I said, I know they looked at me and they're like, "Oh, her curls are so pretty," but I literally don't know what to do with that. And like, and there's unlearning that we need to do, like the whole idea of like the long hair. Like I could
right.
tell that they were like, it was hard for them to see me as Zoe because my hair wasn't long. And it was like, why? Really? Is that really like, but it's like, that's what we know. That's what we
Yes,
think of as beautiful and feminine. And so it's
yes.
the unlearning of those things and the acceptance of like, oh, let me be curious about what I don't understand and what I don't know. And I feel like that is what stops Broadway from truly expanding. Like they're afraid to be really curious about what they don't know.
Oh, I love that. I love when you say the unlearning. I was just talking about this with my friend the other day. In white culture, it's like, oh, long, luxurious, like long hair, wave, maybe a wave. But with black people, the healthier our hair is, the more it shrinks.
Right, right.
So there's whole different criteria. And if
Mhm.
we're going off of their criteria, we will always lose that beauty battle because
Right. That
that's not
criteria. Yeah. Yeah. It's
that's
that
not what our hair
scale
does.
that we've been like valuing beautiful on. It's that European like white scale that we've been like, oh, long is better, straight is better, and all that stuff. And that's unlearning for us too. That it's
Yeah.
like, that doesn't necessarily mean pretty and all that. But yeah.
All right, I'm about to let you go. But before I do, I would like to know because I do have this podcast for this reason, so I can see what my curly hair sisters are using, especially when their curls are popping. I'm like, what do you use? That is clearly working for you. So,
Yes. I use Camille Rose.
oh,
You know Camille Rose?
I have heard of it, but I haven't really heard that many people talking about it.
Oh, I use
Tell me more.
Oh, I use their like curling cream, which is amazing. And I've been using Pattern Beauty, their like
Oh,
conditioner and their shampoo. I've been using them. What else do I use? I try so many different things. It's really
do you love Pattern? Do you love Tracy's line, Tracy
yes,
Ellis?
I love it. And she has like, oh my god, I love it. And she has a an afro comb that is like magnificent. And it's funny because that's something that like you wouldn't think, like you just buy one at Walgreens or whatever, but hers is just, it's perfect. It really, really gets the fluff. It comes in this beautiful like leather bag. Like it's so beautiful.
What? Okay, I have to look this up when we hang up because I'm
Yeah,
like, what do you mean? Absolutely wouldn't think about it. My pick is like the standard
yeah,
metal pick of
exactly.
black and okay,
Me
so you
too.
use Pattern Beauty, you use
I use
Camille
Camille
Rose.
Rose. What else do I use?
I love this.
Oh my god, I use so many different things, but those are like the two things that I've been going like back to back with. Yeah.
And then these days, do you do more wash and goes or twist outs
All of
or something else?
quarantine, I have been doing wash and goes because I like
Fun.
I realized that like twist out is like I love twist outs because I love the volume. Like I was just getting gorgeous volume. But it was really messing with my curl pattern because it's I was like pulling and combing and twisting them out. And so all of quarantine I've been doing wash and goes, which has been really
Nice.
beautiful. And like it's annoying that the shrinkage is out of this world. Like it really is. But I'm like, you know what? It's okay. Like they're bouncing, they're
Yes.
light, they're gorge. Like I can deal with shrinkage. And like you said, it's like shrinkage doesn't mean that it's not good. It's healthy.
It means it's healthy,
Yeah.
right?
So
And popping. We love a curl that says, "Brrr."
yeah.
You're like, wait, what? Your hair is down to your butt?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yes,
We
had
love
you
that.
fooled.
We
Like,
love that.
honestly, Ciara, you're such a joy, such a light. What's the name of your blog?
It's
Queens
called
Made of
Queen Made of Light, the blog.
Yes.
And then I also have a podcast called Queen Made of Light, the podcast, which is the same thing, but it's just in verbal form.
Oh, we love honey. I cannot wait to stalk your podcast. I've already stalked your blog. I need to subscribe because it's really fantastic. And,
Oh, thank you.
it really does personify like who you are, and
Mm,
your personality and the light that you emanate. So
thank
thank-
you.
thanks for joining me, girlfriend. You're
Yeah,
so
thanks for
wonderful.
having me.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy to meet you.
Me
Oh my gosh, we
too.
just met.
I know.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, girl. All right. See you later.
See you later.